So I'm all about just having fun when it comes to Warhammer games. If you want to homebrew or proxy or whatever, doesn't matter to me. But even then, Warhammer games are very gritty with their rules. It's not something that anyone outside of serious wargamers are gonna want to play. So my wife and some of our friends love board games, but they don't want them to have a lot of grit to them. They just want something fun and casual to play. So she got me a gift that I thought you would find interesting if you want a family-friendly game, but also have a crippling Warhammer edition like I do. And that's Warhammer Munchkin. So if you've played a Munchkin game before, you basically know what this is. It doesn't do anything that drastically changes the formula of taking the base Munchkin game and throwing in new references and adding a new IP to it. For anyone who hasn't played Munchkin before, it's one of those games where there's a nice combination of co-op and backstabbing. The win condition is simple, reach level 10. You do this by drawing cards that do various things, ranging from being equipment that will power up your character, to being tricky gotcha type cards. To gain levels, you can either get just flat level increasing cards, or you can beat monsters you encounter each turn. The gameplay is pretty simple. If your power added up with everything going on is higher than the monsters, you beat the monster, you gain a level, and you get the reward stated on that monster card. Here you can barter with other players to have them help for splitting the reward. Or they can be spiteful and try to make it harder for you to actually beat the monster. So there's a lot of negotiation here. The typical game starts very cooperatively, and then as the players get closer to a win, it turns into a complete versus battle, with everyone being afraid to help each other because the other player might have a way to sneak in a cheeky victory. The turn order and the way the battles work are pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of variation on how each turn will go. You'll draw the same type of stuff, probably encounter a monster. It's pretty standard once you know how to play. And most things are determined by randomly drawing a card, and then you determine the best way to use those cards. Since everything is random drawing, you can't always plan ahead for what you'll encounter, and you really can't think several turns in advance. I don't mean there's no strategy, there is some, but it's far more from how you negotiate with the other players, or if you want to help them for the reward, if you want to use your cards to help yourself or hurt them. It's a lot more psychological than it is strategic. So it's one of those games that's heavily based on player interaction. Which the nice thing with that is you can cater how aggressively you're playing to who your opponents are. This game is rated age 10 and up, so if you're playing with a 12-year-old, you can just choose not to play like a total jerk with lying and backstabbing, unless it's just your parenting style. As far as the Warhammer references, your classes are a couple of the army choices such as Ultramarines, Tyranids, Orcs, and a couple others. And a lot of the equipment and monsters you see are straight out of 40k. This isn't just a couple pictures of Space Marines on cards. I think if you're a Warhammer player, you'll get a kick out of the artwork and the references they make. It's silly, it's not grimdark at all, but that's kind of a nice change of pace from what we're used to. So, who is this aimed for? Normally, I wouldn't say this, but basically everyone. Like I said earlier, the age is 10 and up, so most casual players will enjoy it. And if you're a more competitive Warhammer player, I think you'll still get a kick out of some of the references. The only people I think wouldn't enjoy this is if you are a super serious tabletop or board gamer, and everything has to be competitive, and for the sole purpose of winning and min-maxing your characters. There's enough randomness that sometimes even if you are playing the best possible game, you'll lose due to random chance. But this game is more about getting some laughs and enjoying your company than full-out strategic domination. Right now it's $30 at most sites, which is cheaper than basically any boss 40k models. And there are a few expansions. I think they just add more cards to add some variety. They probably won't do anything to drastically change the game. I haven't bought the expansions yet, so I can't really speak to them here. To summarize this, I've had a lot of fun playing it, and if I have a group of people and some are Warhammer players and some are casual board gamers, this might be one of my go-to games. It's not the most skilled-based game, but it can be a lot of goofy fun. So if you enjoyed this quick review, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.